Gojo might be the last Limitless Six Eyes user to ever exist. Let's talk about it, but spoilers beware. First of all, shout out to Nicholas who inspired this video. Y'all can pause to read the entire thing if you'd like, but thank you so much for the support, man. Okay, so let's lay some groundwork here. The Limitless is an inherited technique within the Gojo clan. So Gojo will not be the last person to wield that, assuming the Gojo clan continues to exist. And thanks to the epilogue we got with Yuta, like 60 years in the future, we know the Gojo clan continues to exist. So certainly other people will inherit this curse technique. So that means the important distinction here are the six eyes. Now these aren't a curse technique, but they are still an inherited physical trait within the Gojo clan. And you need to get both these bad boys and the Limitless curse technique in order to be a next level demon, just like Gojo was. And we're told that that only happens about every 400 years within the clan. But that time frame isn't just a product of its rarity or random chance, because we later find out that these six eyes, Tengen, and the star plasma vessel are all connected by fate. And for the quick refresher on what that means, Tengen is an ancient sorcerer whose curse technique basically makes them functionally immortal. But the way that operates is that it slowly transforms her into something not exactly human. So in order to combat that, she must fuse with a star plasma vessel, the name given to specific individuals that are compatible with fusing with her, in order to reset her back to a human form. And the reason it's so important to do this, to make sure Tengen maintains as human as possible, is because Tengen is largely responsible for Jujutsu Society as we know it today, because it's Tengen's barriers that have been set up all over Japan that basically optimize cursed energy. So every 400 or 500 years is when Tengen needs to merge with a star plasma vessel, aka basically the same time frame that a Six Eyes user appears. Now, as to how this fated connection works, we really don't know, but my best guess would be that it was based on an ancient binding vow that was made. In any case, we know it's no coincidence that Six Eyes users show up at the same time that Tengen needs to merge. Basically, their role is to protect Tengen and the star plasma vessel in order to make sure that that merger can safely happen. But we know that Kenjaku had to deal with this issue multiple times over the course of 1,000 years. And a couple of times, he even took out Six Eyes users to prevent them from getting in his way. And yet, nonetheless, when the merger arrived, a new Six Eyes user just appeared. So one came far more frequently than the normal time interval of hundreds of years, meaning this thing is directly connected to Tengen. So now I'm sure you guys can see where this is going, because ultimately, thanks to Kenjaku's machinations, Tengen no longer exists in the same way that she previously did. Because Toji killed Riko, she was unable to merge with the star plasma vessel and then started evolving into something beyond human, which allowed Kinney, with Geto's curse technique, to absorb her, right, and control her to some level. Then that's passed on to Sukuna when Kenjaku is defeated, and then Sukuna is defeated. So where does that leave us? What's going to happen to all of Tengen's barriers, which are foundational to Jujutsu Society as we know it? Well, as Gakuganji tells us in chapter 270, they have placed Sukuna's remains in such a way to help maintain those barriers. And that's because whatever still exists of Tengen is still a part of his remains. So for now, everything is going to be fine, but that is not going to be a permanent solution, as they even talk about in the chapter. But Gakuganji says, you guys don't need to worry about that. We've got time. You're still young. Like, enjoy your life, basically. All that to say, Tengen does not exist in the same way that she used to. And at least at some point in the future, she probably won't exist at all. But in either case, she's definitely not merging with star plasma vessels anymore, which means there might not be any reason for Six Eyes users to ever appear again. Now, obviously, this is pretty nebulous, so nothing definitive can be said. It's not like Gege gave us a peek behind the curtain about how all of these things operated, because for all we know, Six Eyes users existed before Tengen, and then they just made some sort of binding vow which tied them into this timeline and this purpose. So maybe with Tengen gone, they're just removed from that and they'll appear at whatever frequency they would naturally appear at, right? Or maybe they only exist because of this and they'll never appear again. In the absence of a JJK sequel or something, I personally think it would be cooler to think that there will never be another, which would mean Gojo truly was the honored one. But y'all let me know your thoughts.